Well, I heard the rumors over the weekend, and I was hoping against all odds that this would not come to pass and just be some kind of fake rumor, but no. EA has officially announced that it is being sold. This is being done through a 100% acquiring via an investor consortium of PIF, which is short for Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, Silver Lake, and Affinity Partners. That last one mentioned is run by Jared Kushner, who happens to be Donald Trump's son-in-law. The second paragraph does state that PIF already had a 9.9% stake in EA, but this is a much different story since now they're taking part in this 100% acquisition of EA, taking it out of it being a publicly traded company into a private one. Andrew Wilson is supposed to continue being the CEO, and he did make a statement saying our creative and passionate teams at EA have delivered extraordinary experiences for hundreds of millions of fans, built some of the world's most iconic IP, and created significant value for our business. This moment is a powerful recognition of their remarkable work. That last sentence is wild, considering that a huge buyout like this is probably going to result in a lot of layoffs, and EA has been no stranger to those lately. I'm no financial expert, but being a private company does mean that you're subject to less regulation and you have more freedom, and you'll have fewer reporting requirements as well. But then there's also the aspect that EA is going to have $20 billion of debt after all this. So that could end up meaning that EA will become even more money hungry. However, it is important to note that this whole process is not happening overnight. This deal is not expected to close until sometime in Q1 of fiscal year 2027, which sounds farther off than it is, because fiscal years don't work exactly the same as the calendar years that we're used to. So the fiscal year 27, the first quarter actually starts in April and then ends in June. So it could happen anytime during that period. And it is still subject to required regulatory approvals and also be approved by EA stockholders. While EA is obviously trying to paint this whole thing in a good light, it's obviously the opposite in terms of reaction. I've seen many people really concerned about all this because this is beyond just, oh, the game's too buggy, or that EA is charging too much money for DLC. With PIF having a history of corruption and human rights abuse, as well as Donald Trump's son-in-law obviously aligning with more conservative values, people are concerned that with them being in control of EA, could that lead to things being taken out of The Sims 4, like the pronouns update, or future content being less inclusive. I think these are valid concerns, especially in times like these. It's hard to say for sure what will happen or what won't happen, especially with this buyout still being in very early days. I could be wrong about this, but I don't think The Sims had all that much to do with these companies looking at buying out EA, because the EA Sports titles are always at the forefront of EA as a company and how they present themselves. So I think that's what attracted them to do this EA buyout. This is definitely not the sort of video I was looking forward to making today, but I feel it was necessary because this really could have a big lasting impact on The Sims, one of my favorite gaming franchises, and also my YouTube channel. I've put so much into The Sims, and I'm really leaving today with a sour taste in my mouth that is gonna linger for quite a while, I imagine, and it's definitely not pleasant. Things are not fully changing yet, so things are still normal for the time being, but who knows what's gonna change once the dust settles. I feel pretty powerless in this whole situation, but at least we can voice our concerns.